Do you want an accurate natal chart reading to know the true position of the sun, the moon, and each planet at the moment that you were being born? We at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge will create a precise natal chart for you and your loved ones, coupled with snapshot pictures of each planet, the sun, the moon, plus the constellations related to them. In addition to this, we will be giving you a detailed report of the alignment of planets to the constellations and its full meaning, not from an astrological perspective, but from an ancient astronomical perspective. You will have this report for the rest of your life and can share it with your friends and your family. To order your accurate natal chart today, visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Blessed. Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today. Prosperity.
And brethren, we could unmute our mics just to make sure nothing, if we have anything in the background that would be troubling. Go to my brother.
Yes, give thanks. I have a very strong upbringing in scripture. You know, I've even written a kind of initiation manual named The Promised Seed from Adam to Kadama Selassie. But in my tradition, I came across two books very early. The first one is Stolen Legacy by George M. James, and the other one was The Hosea by Mullah Karenga. And those kind of took me down the path of the Kemetic tradition. And immediately a connection was made, and you know, that just became the foundation of my Rastafari tribe. I realized that Bible is something that we cannot just take it and throw it in a corner, because this is more than just Rastafari we're talking about. We're talking about the African community who somehow find themselves trapped, for want of a better word, within the biblical worldview. So I think even for the sake of effective communication relating to them, it is necessary that those of us who have the Kemetic perspective still somehow must be able to speak in biblical terms to bring our people from where they are to where we would like them to be. So just be brief.
Right, I get that. Okay, so you've been very balanced.
Yes, I just passed the penny for the.
No problem. I see real radio talk. I know that should be the honorable sister.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. And I'm glad you asked that too. As I said earlier, there's a slight choppiness, a slur, more slur, I would say, in your microphone there. More slur, not really a choppiness, more slur. So I doubt there's anything you can do about that right now. But we got your message clearly. That's for sure. Yes, as I said now, Sister Negis, just I'm not sure if you don't want to come on camera, but if not, just let me know if you're there. Oh yes, you are there.
Yes, I'm here.
Honorable members. Well, give thanks, you know. Of course, you know, initially I would have reached out to the eye first and foremost as it relates to this discussion. So let me be thankful, of course, that you know, you're making it happen. And as I said, still, I have some special ones with me. I have Ras Cypher Selassie sitting in with me as well, and Brother Jasik, and of course, you know, Ras Aishern. But really, all respect is really due to your team. Looking forward really to hear yourself and your team's outlook. You did specify, you know, your role as a team, so I know for sure there's a oneness in mind. And as I asked Ras Kafra, just to get the ball rolling, his outlook on the Bible, I would like to ask the same, if there is, you know, in a position to answer us yet. How you look, especially as those of us as conscious people. Brother Ras Kafra made it clear that this is a broad thing, and even as he takes up the Kemetic tradition, he thinks that it's necessary that one still be able to handle the Bible and not throw it away or put it in a corner. I know I've come across some of your views specifically on the book, so I'm very interested to hear your outlook on the Bible, Sister Seba, I guess Seba, host of Real Radio Talk, by the way. With thanks.
So basically, you want to hear my views?
Yes, my sister.
On why the Bible is not doing anything for Rastafari?
Please free us up. I want to hear it.
So in my Frederick Douglass voice, pardon me, brothers and sisters, but why am I being asked to come here today? After 500 years, you can't see we're not elevating and moving with this. Almost 100 years deep into Rastafari, and we still have not moved to a space where we need to be. So as we always picking up that Bible and talking about what King James Version said, and a lot of us don't even have, a third of you not even living it. You're talking it and looking it, but you're not living it. We're not taking care of the elders like we say we're supposed to. Empress Phyllis sitting on Bobo Hill blind. All right, we have no infrastructure. Our economics is weak. I can't even send my grandchildren that's here right now from Fort Myers to a Rastafari Academy or science school or computer and technology, whatever trade it is they would like to take up. Emmanuel been telling Bobo Shante he wanted 7 lawyer priests. Where's the 7 lawyer priests? It's not just about singing and clapping. And I'm not being disrespectful, I'm just keeping it real, because at this point in time in 2022, we still talking about what Bible said. When we have an African spiritual system that predates that thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, where's the shaman at? So when our elders get sick and blind, we're there to heal them with the medicine teachings. Because prayer alone is not going to do it. We have to put that medicine work in, that healing in, tapping into your seers right, and your wisdom keepers right, and your earth keepers and day keepers right, the star keepers right, healers right, your harmony rights. Where are these 9 rights that we're supposed to be manifesting right here and now? We're no longer in my grandmother's time in the 1930s and 1900s. We don't have to use the Bible. It's not mandatory. Nobody has a gun to our head and telling us that we have to do it this way. Yes, Haile Selassie did that, but he comes from a Christian environment, comes from a Christian background. So what do you expect? If I come from an Ifa background, you're going to expect me to be practicing Ifa, not Catholic or not Baptist. So he is representing his environment. But as we evolve and we expand our consciousness, which Rastafari is supposed to be using that far right, we're supposed to already know that there's older texts, scrolls, relics, and things that we can use to uplift us and bring us in a better space. Because King James is just not going to do it. He's just not. Most of them characters in the Bible didn't even exist, or they was copied from ancient Kemet. So I'm just gonna leave that there in my Frederick Douglass voice again. Why am I being called here today? Wasar was on this platform how many times already? and you didn't get it from him yet. You didn't see it. He didn't give enough examples. 600 contradictions and lies in the Bible. Come on now, how many times we have to come here and do this? It's getting redundant and boring. We need the shaman teachers. We need medicine teachers. We need the healers. We need the works. We got councils here on the panel. The Guyana Rastafari Council doing heavy works. Band up with him, because he got the teachings. He have the way. He's going to take you out of that King James Version and bring you to your rightful space. And I'm coming from a medicine teaching point of view, so pardon me if I'm not biblical enough, but that's where I'm coming from. And there's no disrespect to no elders, no young ones or anything, but it's time for us to elevate and expand. We have to open up our consciousness. There's a seer's right and a wisdom keeper's right and a keeper's right and a day right and the earth keeper's right that we're not holding on to. We're doing a lot of talking. We're tired of the talking, too much chit-chatting. You look nice and you look good in your robe and turban and you look good in your tam and all of that. You're very handsome, very beautiful empresses and queens. But when your mind is embedded in King James Version, we're not gonna go nowhere. We're gonna keep having these conversations. And I'm tired of having these conversations. But so I spent a lot of time dealing with this for 3-4 parts. And look at me now, I'm here, basically saying the same thing he was saying. Emmanuel said, dash the Bible away when you cross the Jordan River, or was it the Red Sea? Because when you go to Africa, you're not going to need it. And most of you are in Africa and you're using the Bible, same New Age missionary vibes all over again. All over again. You don't need the Bible. And then you go into Africa with the same vibes you're leaving the diaspora with. That doesn't even make any sense. And I would like to see some 7-lawyer priests step up to the plate and join these councils and get things done legally so Rastafari could be functioning like these other nationalities and other races and other sects of people, since we're supposed to be highly divine and chosen and all this. Where's the chosen ones at? Because I'm not seeing it. So much of this Bible business. We're trying to connect Israel and Africa and the Bible, all of that. We're doing that, and then what? Okay, we're the Israelites, now what? Now what? We've been the Israelites for 500 years, 100 years almost deep into Rastafari. Now what? And I'm gonna put the mic down now.
Yeah, give
so
thanks,
my
man.
voice in the background down. Give thanks, everybody. Peace and love to you. Love and gratitude, no disrespect. But that's just where it is right now. In my Frederick Douglass voice when he was speaking to the Europeans.
About the 4th of July.
Now I'm speaking to my own brothers and sisters. Miss Phyllis is up there blind on Bobo Hill. She needs to see. She needs the medicine healers up there. The elders are not being taken care of, but the Bible tells you you're supposed to do that and you're not doing it. So the time we're spending here talking, we should be healing those elders. It's time to heal and stop killing each other's spirit with this redundant King James Version illusion. I'm tired of the illusion. You have to snap out of that. We are healers, the top shamans. Tap into that. You think your mom and father laid down and made you for this? No, we're supposed to expand and be better than them. Not still carrying on that same slave gene from our great-grandparents and our great-grandparents. They didn't know any better, but we now know better. But we want to argue and debate in this African spiritual system and all of that stuff. We got to stop that. But I still love you the same way. You still want to keep with the Bible. But don't get upset because I have my perspective. I have my perspective like the eagle and the condor flying high. And that's where I'm at right now. That's all.
Yes, my sister. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, man, you don't know enough love, enough appreciation for that. I kind of wanted to engage you just quickly even on a question. And of course, I mean, well, I don't know who you may be addressing, but when it comes to I mean, I'm happy to hear your expression, you know. And I don't think...
All Rastafari.
You know that.
All of it, all houses, all mansions, whatever. Right. The one in the woods, the one underground, the one in New York, the one in the islands, everybody.
So this is what I'm saying now. This is why the reasoning is still good. Because if you really want to get the point across it, it's just like promoting a product. You can't get weary of speaking of it, you know, and even your presence here, I'm gonna make it up. Even your presence here this evening, you know, your energy is totally different. You know, even while you're speaking, I'm fully appreciating your energy to the max. So I just letting you know. So give thanks, it's needed. and I know that even the audio of this, you may be, you might take, you did request a recording of it. When you play it on your foundation, more people will hear it. I will take your little speech and bring it to more people in the world. You'll be surprised somebody, wake up towards because of what you're saying. So yeah, man, give thanks, man. I really appreciate it. But anyway, let me not engage you now. So many ones have come on the panel here. Let me go forward. Kufu Amun Heru, my good brother, blessed Lord. We're just kind of going around and building in a sense, and as I said, I don't want no one to take the discussion as either a debate or even an argument. I think, as I said, if you understand, how we reason, me personally, it goes beyond just belief and whatever. I think we go through different angles of it. I know we have some emotional connection to the subject, but just looking at it realistically, that's all, just realistically. And yeah, that's all, just realistically, rationally, factually. Yeah. So Brother Amun Heru, give us your outlook and the Bible, especially with the conscious community as such, to use that term, Rastafari in general. Blessed Lord.
I'd like to say peace to the chat. Well, my outlook is, it was used to, first of all, it was used to enslave the minds of most melanated people, you know what I mean? And there are some of our ancestors that used it to help liberate our people. Like, let's use like Marcus Garvey, for example. He used the Bible to help liberate people, but that was only because back then they didn't have the type of information that we're able to stumble upon now. Today, they didn't have, basically your phone is a handheld computer. Those people didn't have that. It was either Islam or Christianity or Catholicism. Those were the only forms of belief that people that lived back then were able to have to utilize in order to liberate the people. But now today, fast forward to 2022, with newfound information, that has to change. We have to grow past using the Bible, as a tool to liberate or to heal. You know what I mean? Because it knowing that it was taken from older African folklore, a lot of those verses from the Bible were taken from Kemet, right off of the walls of Kemet, word for word. I just believe that we should go back to the source instead of practicing and studying and putting a belief in the watered down version of Kemetic science or the Kemetic understanding. Why don't we just go back to the source, back to the original form? Because it's just watered down. I just believe that the Bible, it has some good things in it. It has some wisdom in it, but it's too many other things in it that is against, what we are naturally, what we're naturally supposed to be involving ourselves in. You know what I mean? To me, it's more poison to our people and it just creates division. It creates a lot of division between, different people, like people from the island, people from America, people from Africa. If you just look, one of the main dividers in between us is the Bible, and more people have it, and then it has so many contradictions in it. How can you possibly use it to liberate your people? How can you possibly just totally put your belief in that? And I see your background. Your background is Kemetic, brother. Your background is Kemetic. You don't have Jesus in the background. You don't have Moses in your background. So, you know what I mean? Just go ahead and move on, and move on to back to what your ancestors, back to the ancestral way of belief. You know what I mean? So that's what I see about. That's how I feel about the Bible. Like it was good to use to liberate when that's all we had. But today's day and age, with newfound information, what is it doing? What is it really doing?
Give thanks. I give thanks of the acknowledgement.
Now, I'll just speak on the Bible. See, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just speaking of the Bible. I'm not into anybody's, their culture or their their culture or their way of life or anything like that. I just believe that it's just time to move past that. It's just time to move past it. It's really not doing anything to liberate us as a people. It's just not. If you can prove to me that it is, I'll check out, I'll see what you're talking about. But as from what I see, I don't see nothing. I don't see it doing anything but like poison in the minds of our people.
Well, before I wouldn't try to prove that at all to you tonight, sure. But I give thanks, man, for your input there. Yeah, you're right. It's Kemetic science there in the background, as you rightly said. Brother Cypher Selassie, before I go to, in fact, no. Brother Wazir Heru, just give me a moment before I come and bring you in, and Rasta, son, please give me a moment. I want to hear what my co-host for this evening, Cypher Selassie, has to say. Not too lengthy, just what you have heard thus far, my good brother. Anything you want to just put on the table before we continue with our wonderful visitors here.
Yes, give thanks, Rasta.
And just see, come forward now. I want to hear something from you too. Yes, my brother. Bless you.
Greetings to each and everyone on the panel and everybody who is in the audience who is not on the panel. But yes, I'm listening to the brothers and sisters, and my response to, or not response, but an overview that I would like to bring to the table is that I think that all of the knowledge that each and every one of us use, even if we're using Kemetic knowledge, which is coming through our brothers and sisters from the 60s, from the 60s and 50s, who have become in America, who have become interested in Kemet and into bringing the spirituality of Kemet to the world, as opposed to Christianity, which was used to enslave I and I as a people. What I would say is that the interpretation of the Bible, not only of the Bible, of all Western civilization, only really began in earnest 1850 AD, the first half of the 19th century. All of the great scholars who we're reading about, who have been to Egypt and found this information. Now we have brothers and sisters who are going there in this time, but the people who have actually given us the foundation of it are Europeans who went there in the 18th and 19th century, and they were trying to find how the civilizations fitted into their concept of Christianity and history, with them being a superior race. So personally, as a historian and as a person who is very much into the Kemetic science, I would say that first things first, we must realize that the Bible itself is an African book, and a part of the Bible in Genesis, which I've never heard anybody say this, but it says in chapter 5, God created man and woman and named them Adam in the day in which they were born. The only people in the world who name their people in the day in the name they were born come from West Africa. If you come, your name is Kojo on Monday. This is in Ghana. And if you're a female, your name is Ajua. If you're born on a Tuesday, your name is Kobina. If you're born on a Wednesday, you're Kweku. If you're a female, you're Ekwa. If you're on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Kwame, Kwesi, Sunday. So I'm just bringing all of those names into play because they are African names and they are in Genesis, because the only people who use that system, who name their children in the day they were born, are African people. So initially from Genesis, we are seeing something African. And then so those people are the Akan people. It tells you who they are. It says in the Bible, they are the Akan people. It says they are descendants of Ham. So if we want to jump now 4,000 years from that time, if that is 6,000 years ago, if you want to jump 4,000 years to 3,000 years, if that's 7,000 years ago from this time, if we want to jump 4,000 years to the time of when the story of Israel going into Canaan and the story of Joshua, you see Joshua with some kind of problem with a brother called Akan. So he's the king of the Akan nation, that he stole something from a tent and then he didn't murder people as he was told, so they stoned him to death. And in the narrative, we find gold, he's the son of Judah. So now we're finding that we've got the same African link from Genesis is there when Israel is being established as a kingdom with a kingship not having a kingship then, but on the way to developing a kingship to be like the nations that already existed in the world. So that, my brothers and sisters, is African. And I can tell you many more things in the Bible which are African, even when they say, don't scar your face. What other people in the world but Africans scar their face? So this is an African book. So, and not to say that we have to take the interpretation which the Western world is giving, but we have to try to understand that the Bible is a book of many levels. There is a simple level and you try and read the word, and then there are people who are wordsmiths who try and work out the context of the word and the relationship to one set of, exegesis they call it, like it's going from one set of words to another set of words and where they correspond. Yes, that is that. But the thing that I work on personally is the mathematical science behind all of it. And in finding that mathematical science, it is Kemetian science. But I think, my brothers and sisters, we have to give thanks to Priest Isaac for bringing this gathering together where people like ourselves can come together and discuss these things. Because personally, I would tell you, this is without a doubt, this is full 100. The Bible text, not the Bible text, but the Bible, the science in the Bible comes right out of Kemet. What is Israel? What is what you call it Hebrew? Israel is Ethiopian. These people who we are looking at in the Egyptian kingships, the different dynasties, they are Ethiopians, my brethren. When you see those brown-looking people on the pictures, they are Ethiopians, So, and that is what I'm sure. And I don't want to go too deep right here. I would like to leave it there.
All right, my brother.
Family. I mean that, family. Our youths, our young ones, our children, we need them, redeem them, and clean them. You see them, or else the enemy will come and scheme them. Family. I mean that, family. Education for the nation that's full of salvation, biology, astronomy, and African theology, geography. Family. I love that, family. Whatever the age or the stage, that youth will be engaged with tutorials, activities, and videos from the studios of the Priest Isaac Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Family.
The International Homeschool Program is designed and recommended for all ages. The psychological state of our children is very important, especially in the environment that most of us live in. The International Homeschool Program provides online classes, activities, and videos that are fun for the youth and edifies them of their African heritage as well as the higher sciences. To enroll your family today, visit www.priestisaacinstitute.com, go to the main website, and search for Youth Corner. Or you can email priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com for a course sample. Thank you, thanks.
You know, so, and that is what I'm sure. And I don't want to go too deep right here. I would like to leave it there.
All right, my brother. All right, so many things being said there. I'm going to bring in, was there Heru before I come to you, Jasik, Isa, and this whole time. Even Tony Tab, I'm going to give you a word too. Don't fret, man. Give thanks for being on the panel too. If you notice, as I said, it's reasoning. And I know everyone here really interested in the psychological state of mind of our people. I don't think nobody here trying to mislead no one or just lead somebody down their own philosophy. If it's one thing I noticed, as the sister was saying, and that's another thing, I never brought that up, you know, but as the Empress was saying, the sister Seba, I guess Seba was saying there, you know, there are many issues, I'm just saying this quick, amongst us as a people that needs to be dealt with. She brought up some examples too. Because really we're like sitting ducks, and that's the reality of it, you know. But also, saying one, you have to also say two, a lot of it has to do with, again, the psychological state of mind of our people. As Marcus Garvey said, from you enslave the mind, right, you enslave everything else, their body, their economy, their domestic affairs, how they eat, just get their mind. And religion and even culture and belief and so has a lot to do with our psychological state. I'm not a one for holding a gun to nobody's head for them to change their ways. Like, hey, if you don't do it my way and them kind of things. So it's reasoning like these. And it will get to the ears of rational thinking people. People that will listen and cipher out for themselves and say, hey, this makes more sense to me than this and that or the other. So it's a work in progress. If you notice, I haven't said anything this evening about Haile Selassie and the Bible. Okay, as I said, we're supposed to pass certain stage. I never even go in, although the term King James has been brought up. Of course, in a real discussion, there are ones that are going to be very strict about that and say, well, you can't. When I talk about the Bible, I'm not talking about King James, especially someone who would have been studied in language and Ge'ez and Hebrew and all of that. But I haven't even made that differentiation neither. We're just going with the flow for the moment. I just want to hear each one's different idea. And even after a while, you know, I want us to be able to interact, you know, you can come in and ask someone to clarify something and come in and speak and ask someone, okay, give me a moment, let me come in. I'll be moderating. I'll make sure it doesn't get out of hand as such, you know. But for now, as I said, Brother Heru, give thanks for coming in again. As the sister say, you've been here already and you have definitely clarified many things for us. But it's a work in progress, eh? And I'm learning a lot. I'm sitting here as master student, but I give thanks for the presence of all the teachers. So yes, my brother, blessed love again. What's on your mind?
Uncle Justin, duawu neche nechuru, duawu emyaku. Give thanks to the Almighty, give thanks to the ancestors. Greetings everyone on the panel, all the kings and queens, brothers and sisters. Let me just read firstly a saying of Ankh-Shonki. That's from about 100 to 30 BCE. Do not dwell in a house that has been dishonored. Its capacity for destruction will turn on you. Its past, no, its history carries a heavy burden. Its past has not passed. So once again, we're discussing being African-centered and going back to retrieve something that was stolen and hidden. What we call the world's greatest secret, the African's history and the African's worldview. In the works of Diop, he speaks about the two cradle theory and the different cultures that emanate We also have a bigotry in the spiritual system that is absent in the African spiritual system. Now I'm talking about African-centered. I'm not talking about dwelling on the fringes of Africa. Because when we speak about Islam and Christianity, we talk about the fringes. But going into the deep heart of Africa, we go into the foundation of Rastafari, which is the Kumina, which emanates from the Congo. In this lifespan of Rastafari, the Kenga cosmogram, are we at our birth? Are we at our maturity? Are we at our death or our rebirth? So are we many say that we are, it's a rebirth of Rastafari. By way about it is because of our spiritual system and our culture. The Bible deals with a lot of individualism, and it's understandable because God starts off on a war footing, where we talk about wrath and jealousy, and that if you don't praise this God, then you're dead. Africa has hundreds, if not thousands of gods. Africans never fought over who's God, because God is unknowable. So when we go into the Bible and we say, we read that no one knew the name of God, but still they built cities in the name of God. There are over 600 contradictions in the Bible, 300 geographical errors in the Bible. My name is Wasahiru Mahat, and I was tutored by one of the first Rastafari brethren on the island in St. Lucia. And so, decades, we've been studying and researching our African history. My elder went to Jamaica in the 80s. After the destruction of his reggae band, many of the Rastafari brethren said that, that's the instruments of Baal, and they'll go back to beating their drums, and they resigned from playing the music, and the band failed. So he went up to Jamaica looking for answers, and he's friends with Miguel Lon, and because he's an elder, you know, from way back in the day. And he came, and when he reached there, he arrived there, he saw the bingy flourishing. It was flourishing off the money of the reggae singers. And they told him that, brethren, and he started to hear about people before Adam and Eve. And that blew his mind because he was very biblical. So there's a lot beyond the Bible. The Bible is yesterday. We have the teachings of Amenemope put into the Proverbs of Solomon. But we know Solomon and these figures are not historical figures. It's tradition, it's myth, it's legend, it's powerful, but it's not history. It's not history. You know? Now His Majesty came to wipe away the superstition. So let's not remove the virtue of His Majesty, which can only begin in His mortality. Uncle Jasine, duawu, nature.
Honorable Prophet Jassi, blessed love my Lord. Where is Ison? Okay, afterwards I'll make Ison say a word, and I think I have a few questions I have to throw around here. Yes, Prophet Jassi, your mic is muted, remember that? And tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah, bless the Lord, my Lord and Empress, yes, Prince and Princess, royal visitors. Yeah, man. Give thanks for the, all the participants. Yeah, we give thanks, Yeah, man, for everything that is good. Yeah, my Lord, concern the Rastafari Bible, It's a misconception now, different interpretation of the Bible now. Because as we come and learn now, it has different denominations. All of them reading from the same Bible, but again, different understanding. From one book, it has many different understanding, different religions and these things, But the truth of the Bible is in the Holy Bible. So it comes like, a man has to really have understanding when you read the Bible, because it's really a black book. It's shaped from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that they go at the Israelites. Like I and God same way, They come and share about Moses, they share about Christ. The law of Moses and the law of Christ is the foundation of the world. Because if you don't live by the law of Moses and the law of Christ, you will receive the blessing of obedience. Curse will be upon you. So you come and learn about the Holy Bible, same way, is the guide, It's not to compare no other books. The Holy Bible is not to compare no other books. It's a book for mankind solution. In this modern time here. You see, the Holy Bible is still fulfilling all now. All now it's still fulfilling. The book still is in effect. Even until the end, Certain things taking place in the world today, come and see what, the Bible fulfilling the same way. He who lives right, as the Bible teaches we, will be led unto eternal life. And those who will live right, will crumble. So you come and see, in these times we're living here right now, 2022, as we come and learn, these days are the last days, this is the time of revelation. The Bible teaches you about revelation. It's another books we can really come and teach about the last days and beyond. So we give thanks for the Holy Book same way, It's our books as black people, but we have to, if we understand the Holy Book, we can ask for strength from our guide, Because nothing wrong with that. We are to seek it out. And the Bible now is the book to really find God. In all the Bible, you can go find the true and living God. It has many knowledge out here in these last days, many knowledge. Because in these last days, knowledge increase. By knowledge of the truth now, many won't find. Because it only for a few same way as the same Holy Bible prophesied. Only a few will be saved, a remnant. So this thing now, plenty of people will really find and think, but from a seeking now, from a seeking the kingdom of God, as Christ teach we, which is to look for yourself, because many people now, they go to church and all these things, and people read the Bible for them. And people give them own understanding. But when you go and read for yourself now, you're sitting for yourself. You must read the Bible for yourself. You must seek God for yourself, which is to look for God. But many of us don't really seek God, you know. We follow, we hear say, and we say what we hear say. But for yourself, if you go and read the Holy Book now, you will see enough things in the book, my Lord, enough truths. You will even see yourself in the book. Because the whole world in that book, my Lord, everyone, the good, the bad, the righteous, the unjust, the ungodly, you know. So we give thanks for the Holy Book self, you know, in these last days, my Lord. So we come like, you know, if we understand, we can ask, and enough strength. Yeah, man. So we must seek it out, look for it. Blessed love, my Lord and Empress. Blessed love.
Give thanks. Rasta, sir, you saying about...
Yes, sir.
Give me your perspective. Huh?
The sipping some tea. But anyhow, yeah. Wow. Okay, well, I might just have a few comments to tell the truth. Just
wow,
listening. Right. I give big respect to the Sister Rasta. The Lioness Rasta. Let me just put in the one day because a pure fire. Love the energy from the sister differently. Very no nonsense about the Bible. And very, very enthusiastic about African culture. You know what I mean? That is very heartwarming to I. Still. But there's a couple of important things that I have to look at as I deal with this whole thing about the Bible. You understand? One of the things that I think that we have to really appreciate is the way the Bible is introduced to us here in the diaspora versus how it is introduced to Ethiopia. Because most men that hang up on the Bible as Rastaman, they hang up, the reason for doing so is because of His Majesty's endorsement of the Bible. You understand? Ethiopia's endorsement of the Bible. And what we're not bearing in mind is the difference in how the book was introduced to the Ethiopian and how it is introduced to the Africans out in the diaspora. According to even His Majesty's own word, the Bible is introduced to Ethiopia as a good news. You understand? But to in the diaspora, the Bible was delivered on the end of a whip. I mean, we get into the Bible through trauma. You understand? So it's very, very difficult in light of these traumas, the effects of which we are still feeling today, generationally. It's very difficult for we in the diaspora to have this kind of cavalier attitude about the Bible and just simply just use the fact that His Majesty endorsed the Bible and say, okay, well, we're going to hug it up. You understand? We have to bear this in mind. The Bible come to us as trauma. There's a book they call How to Make a Negro a Christian. That tell you that then devise New Testament to specifically target the slaves, to brainwash them into this religion. You understand? We know that you just have the slave master and they have in church, and while they have in church here, outside in the field they have slaves. Out there get brutalized and work hard in the sun and these things. Those images is not going to leave our mind, we the African in the diaspora. And we will never have the comfort that the Ethiopians and them seem to have in relating to Christianity and the Bible. That's a very important point to bear in mind. Another important question that we have to use in terms of using the Bible for our spiritual life. We have to decide whether we are seeking to find self or we are seeking to find a savior. And those are two very different implications for those two. Because the African system is about finding self, which send you inside. But Christianity sends you outside to an external entity as Savior and God. So Christianity, in a matter of speaking, is telling you that God outside of you manifests in the person of Jesus Christ. So we look to this Jesus Christ person now to take on some kind of role in our social reality. You understand? That's not the important point to bear in mind. What are we doing exactly? Are we seeking to find self? Are we looking for a savior? That's an important question. Another question I have for ones among I and I who seem to be hung up on the Bible is this. What can the Bible do for us Africans that our African spiritual system cannot do? You have to answer that. Because in my opinion, they do not have anything that the Bible can do for us that our African spiritual system cannot do in terms of bringing us to spiritual realization and self-knowledge and so forth. So anyone that is pro the Bible, I would like them to explain that one for me. Why it is that you see that our African spiritual system cannot deliver? Why we need to hold on to the Bible the way we are holding on to it? Because to me, there is nothing that the Bible can do for us that our African spiritual system cannot do. The fact that the Bible stories are plagiarized versions of stories that exist in the African culture before Bible was even compiled should say to us that everything that we need for our spiritual sustenance and so forth, we can get it in the original source. We don't have to go to the Bible. So then it begs the question, what is our problem? Why we don't want to let that go? It really begs the question. And if the answer to that question is because, well, His Majesty endorses the Bible, then I would like to also point us to other statements that His Majesty make about other spiritual culture. His Majesty have a speech where he talk about all the religion in their historical form are really spiritual kinsmen. You understand? And that statement to me says that His Majesty see other spiritual system as equally viable as Christianity. If that was not so, then he would not be speaking creditable about other spiritual system, and actually declaring that they are spiritual kinsmen, that they are just like us, are just like the Christian tradition. He would not be saying that. He would be telling these other religious forms, listen, you gotta drop that and come and join this. And His Majesty position clearly is not that. His Majesty endorses other religious tradition. He sees all of them as in the same boat, in that all systems seek to bring their aspirant to spiritual awareness. So if that is the position of His Majesty, it means that even the tradition that we create in Rastafari would be equally valid, just like Christianity. Hence, we do not need to abandon what we have to become a Christian. not because His Majesty, according to Ethiopia's tradition, is a professed Christian. We don't need to do it because there's nothing there for us to get that we cannot get from our own spiritual system. So if anyone that is supportive of the Bible know of anything that culture can deliver to us as African people, that our spiritual system cannot, well then they can highlight that and we can have a discussion as we go along on that. But these would be my input at this point.
Well, let me give thanks, my brother. Let me come in there. I would like to and give thanks for your wonderful expression there. I think, no, I don't think no one can deny at least the question that you asked. I don't think there's anything that African spirituality doesn't give to you. So for sure, hands down.
Can I answer a question that he asked?
Okay, go ahead, please, go ahead.
And Rasta said, what is our problem? I'm gonna tell you what the problem is. Genetic coding.
Genetic coding.
From your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and your great-great-great-grandparents, it's embedded in the DNA. And if you don't upgrade your genetic coding, if you don't upgrade your DNA, you're gonna find every excuse in the world to cling on to this Bible. You're gonna find it because it's embedded in your genetics now. You ever heard of epigenetics?
Respect.
Transatlantic slave trade, traumatic slave syndrome. This is what's happening here. Because all I'm hearing is excuses to hold on to this thing. And I'm telling you now that you're genetically sick. And you need to upgrade your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't upgrade your DNA, we're gonna have this same conversation next year, same bat time, same bat channel, with the same opinions and the same views and the same perspectives. If you don't clean up your DNA, you're gonna always find time to squeeze in why we need this Bible. Genetic coding is sick. You are carrying your great-grandparents' genes, and they never shook off that religious syndrome. And now here you are, decades later, following that same path. It's genetics here. This is not free will anymore. Because if it was free will, we'll all be on one accord and say, you know what, let's put that Bible in the key fire. Yes, put it in the key fire. Because the early Rastaman used to do that. Because they understood the damage, the psychological damage that Rasta was talking about, what it have done to us. And they reverted to nature and opened up their Christ consciousness and looked within and found God, not waiting for somebody to, not waiting for Jerusalem to come back, not waiting for redemption time and all of this Christian rhetoric. Black people are genetically sick, not just in Rastafari with the Bible, Christians, Islam, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
You have to upgrade your DNA. Don't upgrade your DNA, we're gonna keep having these same conversations. Nobody wants to go to, we understand there's a source, but for some reason we're not going to the source. We're still trying to find an excuse to stay where we are.
I was going to ask, I was asking what is to upgrade the DNA? What would be the process you suggest?
You gotta wash yourself from that transatlantic traumatic slave syndrome. We've been traumatized. You didn't hear what Rasta said?
No, hold on.
You don't see the trauma here?
No, take it easy. I'm asking, how do you do that? How do you get out the trauma? How do you upgrade your DNA?
First of all, you need to put that Bible in the fire key. Put it in the key fire.
That's the first step. That's the first step.
Let it go. But some of you know that if you let it go, you might catch the flu. And I'm not being funny. If you let it go, you will literally get sick. Your luminous energy field will be sick because it's embedded into the DNA. So once you clean up that DNA from that sludge and the slime and the mud, clean it up,
That's the first step to changing.
You have to leave it, put it down. You have to know in your subconscious mind. Open it, go deep into that subconscious mind. Go talk to your shadow side. That shadow side is going to show you the real you and balance that shadow side. But you will never do that if you're trying to bring the history and African culture in the Bible. You're not going to do that if you keep going around in circles about what this Bible is doing and how is this and how is that. And we're still here having the same conversation. You have to clean up the DNA piece, Isaac. It has to get cleaned up. If it don't get cleaned up, we're going to keep seeing generations and generations of this. We are the ones that's supposed to be cleaning this mess up, and we're not cleaning this mess up.
I get that, but let me come in again. No, but what I'm saying, because I'm taking your point, Your point is that the reason that ones are caught up on the Bible is because their DNA needs to clean up. So I'm asking you how to clean it up. So if the first step to clean it up is to put the Bible in the fire, when you're saying that it's because the DNA is not clean up, why ones are holding on to the Bible, well, then there has to be something else leading up to the cleaning up, because remember, the cleaning up is to allow you to let the Bible go and put it in the fire. So a person whose DNA is not clean up to let it go is not going to let it go as the first step.
Yeah, and once you let it go,
I'm just taking it point for point, Don't feel.
Oh, go ahead. I thought you were finished.
Right. I want clarity, differently than, it's clarity. So that when the conversation done, we clearly understand what is being said. Gotcha.
What we need to do.
Yeah, that's clear. No, but I mean, but then you started to go into the shadow side. That to me gone in a different realms there. Actually, to be honest, that's when the light came on in my head. When he said,
the yin and yang.
Yeah, exactly.
Your yin and yang.
So now you carry me to a zone that, well, I'm familiar with. So then I was saying, okay, well, now there you go.
Yeah, that's the shadow.
But even to get to the shadow side, I mean, and to be honest still now, I wouldn't agree that somebody that read the Bible, because people read the Bible for different reasons, cannot get to the shadow side. And cannot.
I don't see how. I don't.
I'm a living witness to that. Reading the Bible doesn't mean you're a Bible bunny. Okay, for example.
But then why you need it then?
Even when we started with Rasta Kafra, because you see, when he comes to this subject, it's different outlooks. So he was saying, from his point of view, is that the ancient Kemetic science is what he came across. But he still believed that you still have to understand the Bible. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I have word for word, but I know what he was saying, especially when you would have to communicate to ones to either make them understand the truth and the falsehood. So there are many different aspects to it too. So getting in touch with the shadow side and dealing with ancestors and I wouldn't say because
the shadow side is not the ancestors. The shadow side is a part of you.
No, other things. I mean, no, I'm bringing all kind of things into the pot because it's a lot of cosmic things. I understand. I was just kind of bringing a lot of things into the one. But,
Can I say something here?
Yeah, please come in. But I hope you understand what I'm saying, sister.
I mean, for the sister side, I not denounce that one forever. But for example, watch that. I come up Rastafari and the Bible, period. You understand? That was the central book. Now, what it is that I did that make I am thinking the way I'm thinking now and speaking the way that I'm speaking now? Well, I would say self-awareness. I come to a point that I find self, and finding self opened me to let go of the Bible, just simply that. It wasn't any special ritual, no special drink that I drink, no special vaccine that I got that changed the genetics or anything like that. Just simplifying self, and it shows you what is illusion and what is real, and allow you to separate yourself from the illusion. So, for me, all you gotta do is simplify self. And finding self is a totally different approach than looking for a savior.
Yes, my lad.
Who that coming there now?
Baraka, Ras Baraka.
Ras Baraka,
Yes,
I not even seeing you, boy.
Yeah, me know, me I try to work on the camera, that's why, my lad.
Okay.
You don't know the camera tonight.
Okay,
So,
let me just go to Jasik before I come to you now.
I go on, fire.
And I come forward to the IT. You had his hand up there too.
Bless the love.
Yes, my lord.
Bless the love.
And then we go
Yeah,
to
man.
Kafra, we're gonna come to the IT.
Understand the Virgin man, the book of life, you know, that's natural same way. But what I say to my Lord, the Bible now, you know, before the Bible was created now, we man was living the Bible. We demand them now who follow Moses, who hold laws and commandments. Is and I know the Bible talking about. And I traditional Africans now, Israelites. The Holy Bible now showing the past, where we come from. It was these books will come together now, show about and I same way, my Lord and Empress. So you know, so we give thanks for the Bible again, same way. You was, yes, we know God create man in image and likeness. And I know the reflection of God. You was, yeah, man, from your, you know, from your man, you come at the reflection of God. And we must think of ourselves as, you know, perfect instruments of God, same way, as Makagavi teach us. But God himself now is his personal temple too, the personal structure. Because when God said, let there be light, and there was light, God was speaking. So we know God is in flesh same way. So we give thanks for the God who speaks, one mouth and these things, you know. Yeah, man. So we give thanks for that God same way.
If everybody's going to unmute the mic for me now, here's the water throwing away like something. Pardon. Sorry, my Lord. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, my Lord, you know. So spirituality now, as we come and learn now, you know, is really the words of Christ, the words of God, you know. That is spirituality. The words of God, you know. So from the king endorsed spirituality now, we come and know, well, from you're living by the words of Christ or the words of God. You're living a spiritual life. But religion now and these things now, they come and bring forth, you know, religion, as we learn, teaches us that God is not in flesh. It's a God we can't see. Religion now teaches us that, you know, you must dare to see God. If you're in there, you can't see God, you know. Religion, you know. So we give thanks for spirituality same way, which is the words of God. And to find the words of God now, you know, we go back to the history. The Holy Bible, you know, present history, present and even future things to come. Choose and I now forsakes the laws of Moses now.
Boy.
And these things, we end up in slavery. Now we end up in slavery due to disobedience. Black man end up in slavery. A few white men capture so many thousands of black people on the ships and them. How that could happen? Unless we rock soul we out. God soul we out because we start to praise idol gods and all these things, false worship, blood sacrifice. Black people turn from the glorious past. As in the days of King David, King Joshua, all them time in there, man like Joshua and time in there, when we're living so glorious, praising with God and all nations in fear. We come on, Lord, that stigma, you know, due to sin and disobedience. So the Holy Bible now, you know, in our book now, come like the guide to show you how to live right, to discern from right and wrong. So we give thanks, as I say now, for the guide, the Holy Book, you know. Yeah, man, the book of later salvation. Salvation, you know, as we come and learn, you know, is deliverance from sin and the consequences of sin, which leads to sickness and death. So when I read the Holy Bible now, to go show you now how to escape that. Love your neighbor, love yourself. If you love me, keep my commandments. All these things written in the scroll the same way. And them things put in the Bible. The African spirituality, system of the virgin reason, all them things they put in the Bible. So
no, it is not. Where's the seers right in the Bible? Where's the wisdom keepers right in the Bible? Where's the harmony rights in the Bible?
That's a question, beloved.
Where's the healers right in the Bible? Because right now you're getting boring. And as someone else that haven't spoke, I think it'd be nice to let them speak and hear some different perspectives, because you're saying the same thing you said when you came on about 20 minutes ago, and it's going in circles.
Can I say something?
Yes, Brother Cypher, got you.
Is he?
Yes, give thanks. Really, I want to address Sister Nigista Saba, please.
Please do.
What I would like to say is, you know, you speak of having a system, you know, a system that is beneficial to.
Baraka, don't worry. Sorry, my brother. Sorry.
Yeah, you speak of having a system that is beneficial to all of us, you know, to everybody, which is an African spiritual system. And
Are you using it? Are you using it? Because right now, Empress Phyllis is blind.
Hold on, sister. Can I just say what I want to say, and then we?
All right, let's talk about the healer's right that we're not using and the medicine teachers that we're not using. Let's get to the matter at hand. Because right now, these elders are fading away.
Let him ask the question, sister.
Due to neglect and not proper help. So the Bible know all of these things. Manifest your healer's right. Let's start healing up the nation.
Let's hear his question. What you think? Let me hear you.
Much chit-chatting. That's what.
Yes, I would just say that all of it, you know, even the spiritual systems, the healing systems, and all of those kind of things, you know, amongst people of Rastafari, I personally know people with doctorates and herbalists who are using the medicine along with their religious belief to continue the ancient tradition. You know, they bring the ancient tradition to this modern day true Rastafari. I know Priest Isaac personally know, we have brethren who are physicians in these fields. So how do they fit in? How do they not fit into your scheme of things? That's one question. And another question, in the search for unity amongst one another as a people to make a forward move, putting away what is past, what is old, I would say that to put those things away, do you not understand that or not say do you not understand, but I would like you to understand in the Bible there is a discipline. That discipline is the discipline of the Bible, and I'm not talking about the doctrine. I'm talking about the discipline in the Bible of working in harmony with the universe, of the cycles of time. The Bible is really a book of kingship. It's not a book of a single little man. When you're talking about a man in the Bible, for instance, as I was talking about Akan, he's a king, and these are kings of nations of people, because the book of the Bible is a document of kingship, and the distance and the way that kingship travels through the societies which are being created, which are created, which were created, which are being created and reborn. And the discipline which is delivered from the Bible, the discipline of the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. The rhythm is what African spirituality is about. Now we want to say, oh, we don't have no good, we don't, you know, there's the Queen Mother in all of the cultures, whatever culture is on the continent. And when I talk about Africa, I don't even call it Africa. I talk about Ethiopia, the continent of Ethiopia. And the continent of Ethiopia is ruled by a spiritual kingship, a royal line, which I personally believe are all connected from the east to the south to the north to the west. That the people who control, who you're reading about in the Bible, are the kings of nations who control the power of the world. And you're reading about their struggles and different nations trying to overtake because they've got different interpretations of the spiritual system. So you don't believe me, my brother? I can see you shaking your head. You can't believe it.
No, I definitely don't agree with that I don't agree to, because if they were, so if they're kings, right? Are these people that you talk about, men?
You come to your Baraka, don't worry, just hold that. Go to your Harry's one.
Yes, brethren, they are men. They are men. You know, and they're men who carry the story, they carry the legends. You know, the legends come through time and time and time again. As they say, nothing is new. So the legends.
And you think they're directly connected to people in the Bible? You actually think that they are connected or related to people in the Bible?
Most definitely, yes. Most definitely. I'm sure of that.
Those characters in the Bible wasn't meant to be taken as literal characters. Those characters are not real. The Moseses and the prophets and the
Brethren, I said in the legend, that, you know, listen to what I'm saying. I said they are in the legend. The legend is the story. So the story,
just the story, right?
Legend, brethren, the legend carries the spirituality. The legend carries the spirituality in those people. So if it's Moses, or if you want to use Moses, but there's many, many kings going throughout the thing, going throughout the script of the Bible. There are many, many kings, but those kings are what they are trying to portray when they're giving the legend is the spirituality behind the legend. But it is, so this is where we become separated from the spirituality, is finding literalness in the story, literally in the character of the story, instead of finding the spirituality of the legend in the personality of the character. You understand?
Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today. Prosperity.